something's always felt a little off. You know that feeling when things don't quite add up, but no one says it out loud? Well, that's exactly what's been buzzing around Meghan Markle's pregnancies for years now. It started as tabloid noise. Strange baby bump angles, overly staged photos, and constant belly cradling that felt more like a performance than natural affection. But lately, those whispers are growing louder, and they're not just coming from trolls on Twitter. Now, there's talk that someone close to the situation, someone who might have actually been involved behind the scenes, is ready to speak up. And what they're hinting at isn't vague. It's not just speculation. It's a suggestion that the pregnancy the public saw, plastered all over Netflix, magazines, and gushy interviews, might not have been real at all. Allegedly, it was all a production. Yes, that's the word making its rounds behind palace walls. And it sent royal insiders into damage control mode, reigniting the firestorm that Meghan and Harry probably thought they left behind in Buckingham Palace. Now, let's be clear, surrogacy isn't shocking anymore. Celebrities do it all the time, and no one blinks an eye. But here's the twist. What makes this particular situation so explosive is the possibility that Meghan and Harry presented it as something different. They portrayed their pregnancy as something natural, something authentic, and something that the world could admire. But if that narrative turns out to be fabricated, well, then it's not just a personal betrayal, it's a PR disaster. The couple built their entire brand on transparency and truth. And if that truth is exposed as fiction, the public won't just be disappointed, they'll feel played. From the start, everything about this pregnancy seemed like it was carefully curated. The baby bump photos, the intimate, loving cradles of the belly. It was like a performance, a show for the world to see. Every moment was meticulously crafted to convey warmth, love, and authenticity. But what if it was all just part of a bigger narrative, one that was never real? Meghan and Harry made a big deal about wanting privacy, wanting space to raise their family outside the royal spotlight. But the second they stepped into the media spotlight with major deals, documentaries, and press tours, the rules changed. You can't have it both ways. You can't sell a curated life and still claim you don't owe anyone an explanation. Meghan and Harry's brand has been carefully managed from the very start. Their story, leaving royal life to find peace, was a story of authenticity. But with every major media deal and public milestone, it feels more like a staged narrative than a true escape. Their carefully crafted image has worked so far, until now. And that's the problem. When someone close to the surrogate says it was all staged, it slices right through the polished image they've worked so hard to maintain. The silence, the lack of denial, only adds fuel to the fire. And with the royal family already embroiled in its own PR mess, the last thing they need is this circus orbiting the Sussexes once again. Palace insiders are reportedly furious. And it's not just about Meghan and Harry looking bad, it's about the ripple effect on the entire royal brand. The monarchy's reputation relies on public trust, dignity, and history. When a royal-adjacent pregnancy comes into question, that trust is shattered. The public might be tired of royal scandals, but this one cuts deeper. It doesn't just affect Meghan and Harry's image, it puts a crack in the entire monarchy's carefully constructed PR machine. Now, let's talk about the power of social media. Once a story like this gains traction, it moves fast. People are analyzing every photo, every clip, every bump angle. Did you see the way the bump folded here? The way it shifted in that video? These are no longer just conspiracy theories. They're becoming real questions. And even Meghan's most loyal supporters are starting to squint a little harder at moments they used to swoon over. This isn't some fringe theory anymore. It's a legitimate question. If there's even a kernel of truth in these rumors, this could go down as one of the biggest trust breaks in royal-adjacent history. And the silence? That's what makes people nervous. Meghan and Harry, who are never shy about speaking their truth, have suddenly gone quiet. No tearful interviews, no fiery clapbacks, just nothing. And that's raising red flags. Because when someone known for speaking out says absolutely nothing in the face of serious accusations, it doesn't scream innocence, it screams strategy. Damage control is in full swing behind the scenes. Legal teams are scrambling. PR teams are locking down NDAs. But when the story gets this big, the leaks are inevitable. The question is, how did it start? Was it a leak from within? Or is the surrogate herself finally deciding that the truth is more important than a contract? Meghan knows the Hollywood game. She's not a huge star, but she understands how media and branding work. When she brought Harry into that world, it wasn't by accident. She introduced him to her circle, the media moguls who know how to build a narrative and sell it like it's gospel. Harry went from stiff royal to Netflix darling overnight. But now that carefully crafted narrative is cracking. If even one part of it turns out to be fake, people will start rethinking everything, from the Oprah interview to their Netflix series, from the speeches about mental health to their book deals. Suddenly, it all feels less like truth-telling and more like storytelling. And that's the real danger. If the surrogate story is true, it could unravel everything. The Netflix deals may keep rolling in, but the emotional connection? That's what makes a brand. And once that trust is broken, it's almost impossible to rebuild. Meghan and Harry need to come clean. No spin, no lawyers, no NDAs. If the pregnancy was real, prove it. If it wasn't, admit it. The truth, even if it's messy, will earn more respect than staying silent and letting the fire burn. Silence doesn't protect you in today's world. It exposes you. And for Meghan and Harry, the truth will decide how they are remembered. Right now, they're at a crossroads. The longer they stay silent, the more their carefully crafted empire risks crumbling.